Okay, so this is a toolbar that we need to add if we want to do any sort of modeling where we want the volume, or by extension, if we want the mass of any model, we need this toolbar. So what we're going to do, I'll put this link in the description, and you can get this from the add-on manager, or what I find is easier because I need to change this, is just go optional manual installation, click this, and it brings you just to the code. So I'm going to hit Control A, Control C to select all of that code, and now I don't need this anymore, so I'll minimize this. Okay, so now we're over in FreeCAD, and what we need to do here is go to macros. We can create a new macro. We'll just name it something simple, say FCinfo toolbar. It doesn't really matter. Paste all of that information in there. And before we save that, one thing that we want to change, so we want to scroll to line right here, 1464 through 1473. See the line numbers here. I'm going to add a comment, hashtag, pound symbol, whatever you want to call it, to all of those. So we want this whole section to be commented out. So it should all be green, and we should be able to save that now. And basically what that does is, I was finding with this version of FreeCAD, I was having an issue where I would be able to open it like the first time, but if I restarted FreeCAD ever, I wouldn't be able to open it again because it thought it was still open from last time or something like that. That's what I think was going on, but this was a way that I was able to fix it. So we can close that. So something else that's helpful is going back into this macros, so we see it here, and if we want, we can execute it, and it's gonna pop up somewhere, and you can move this, you can make it however big you want, but at first this is not going to actually give you any information. So let's say I'll just make a sketch real fast. It's saying here that we need to do something. It's all red. So go into the tools, edit parameters. So under group, base app, and preferences, macros, FCinfo toolbar. And you won't see this FCinfo, that's a different one. And a few things I recommend changing. So right here, this decimal value, I think it's 2 or 3 by default, and I recommend changing that to 8. For example, you can do more. Right here, this toolbar width, I changed mine to about 400, and you can just double click on these. And I believe by default this is just 0, which means it will just go as wide as it possibly can. So those are 2 optional changes. And now the change that we really need is right here, display volume object. So double click on that, change it to true, and then another one that's helpful, I think, is I do object name and radius object. So make sure you get all those. Save to disk, and then close. And now we can refresh this button, and if we click on the body, it says body V volume, and it gives us the volume. So that is what we need. And now one quick thing to note, a bit of a bug in this one. For some reason, so I have my Python console and report view here, and you you can also have your non-intrusive notifications. I have these turned off right now, or I have them so they don't automatically pop up, and that is in Edit, Preferences, Notification area. I turned off Enable Non-Intrusive Notifications. So let me close out of there. And something, when I'm in a sketch, if you see in the bottom right here, these are just racking up. And if I open this, it's just going to say Error Read Sketcher. I don't know what this is about, but basically all you have to do to stop this is just click on something, and it will stop doing that. It's just something with pre-selection, and it is partially caused by this toolbar, but that's just something to be aware of. So that's why I have the report view and the Python console. I guess the Python console doesn't need to be there, but most of the time I'll just drag these down so that they're not even visible. But anyways, so that's something to note. And then something else to note is, so you can go to macros and click and execute this anytime it disappears, but I think a better way of doing it is going into there, click this, and click on Toolbar, and this is just going to give us a little walkthrough thing, so we can add it to our toolbar menu up here. It's just going to say fill in missing fields, and then click Add and Close. So it's literally telling us what to do, so we just need to click Add. And actually I'm going to click on PixMap, and I'll put this little calculator there. Let me replace that one. There we go. Now I will close. And now it opens up this other one, and it's going to create an auto-created macro toolbar for us. I don't think we need to do anything else, so let's close this here. And now we can close. And we do need to go and restart FreeCAD before this will show up. Okay, so I just reopened FreeCAD, restarted it. I will create a new part here. So now we should be able to right click in here and turn on this auto created macro toolbar, and mine looks like a calculator, so I'll click on that, and now this shows up. So that should be everything that we need now, but let me just make a quick part and see if it works. So there we go. We can see that. Click on the body. It's always best to click on the body, I think. And we can change this. Doesn't matter what your actual part unit is. I leave mine on meters usually, just because most of the parts that I do have a density that is in kilograms per meter. So that should be all.